Hi, buddy, how you doing? So, me and Jerry here, by the way. We're going to have a wee. We don't even know if it's a debate, by the way. We're going to talk about modern day Thai fighters. Um, I got a Rod Tang, Super Lex, Super Bond, Harrison, Nico. Do we include Nabil in it? Nabil? Is it Nabil or Nabil?
I think it's Nabil.
Nabil for there. But me, by the way, my age and all that for there. I think these Thai fighters are all great, without a doubt. But I like to go back and talk about, how would Ramon Decker fare against these guys, or Gilbert Ballantyne, stuff like that. So, but mainly I would say Ramon Decker. So, modern day Muay Thai fighters. What do I think of modern day Thai fighters? Well, I think. Personally, I've been doing it for a million years, right? Everybody knows that, right? And Jerry's been doing it for a lot of years himself. So, include up on the sport. I would say that I think Raman Decker would hold his own against a lot of these people for there. So we're looking for your views on that, and anybody who's went back a good bit. So we're hoping that Sandy Holt jumps in on this one, by the way, and maybe gives me a wee bit of backup here. But I think Ramon Decker would probably hold his own against these guys. So who will we pick first, Jerry?
We've got Ramon Decker up the screen.
So Ramon Decker's on the screen now. That's him with core hammers. You'll see the videos up in the middle there anyway. Ramon Deckers was about 5'5", 5'6", 10 stone 7 welterweight, and he was known as the Turbine from Hell in Muay Thai, and he was the first ever foreign fighter who got the, what do you call it, Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer, I think it was Hall of Famer for there. He was the first ever that got that for there. I think today, as I said there, I think Ramon Decker would definitely hold his own against these guys. But we're going to discuss that, aren't we?
We can see how it was,
Who will we pick first?
I don't know. I was watching Liam Harrison fights fight.
So let's talk about Liam Harrison. Liam Harrison is, for me, the only guy I've watched in Thai boxing who defies everything about Muay Thai. Some folk would say why, but we should think that way, because he's very rigid.
Yeah.
He's a very, very rigid fighter.
Right.
There's no, turning the hip up in the toe, turning in things like that. You don't get that for him. But when you fancy a kick off him, punch knee or elbow for there. But a solid fighter. So how do you think? I've got Ramon Decker on the screen now. Everybody, we'll put this on the feed for there. How do you think Decker would fare against?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Liam Harrison's a solid fighter, definitely, but dead rigid, like you said.
Yeah.
And I mean, Decker's he's something else. So I think that two of them will give each other a good run for their money.
Yep.
But my money's on Decker.
Oh, good. Well, I think that, I'll tell you who I think that fight would go. I don't think that would be a massively technical fight. I think that would be punch for punch, kick for kick, knee for knee, elbow for elbow.
Yep.
I think that's how I see that fight going. I don't see it going bobbing and weaving and moving. I think these guys would trade.
They'd stand it back.
They would trade. So I'm going to say, who would win out of that fight? I reckon I'm going to say a win because of Ramon Decker, but a close draw.
It'd be a good fight to watch.
It'd be a great fight to watch. But I would probably say maybe or let's say we're talking saying they fought 3 times. I would probably say Decker twice, right?
Yeah.
But I think if it's not a definite win, it would be a very close draw. So for there, because when you watch Decker as well, Decker didn't fluently move. He really fluent. I don't think he was fluent.
But he's got a presence about him, just watching him move
massive.
in the air.
I mean, we're watching him on the screen, but we'll have this feed on that for everybody. But Ramon Decker just kept piling forward all the time. He's a guy that just wouldn't back off for there. So if we're talking about Decker and Harrison, my view would be, I'm going to say Decker would win. I think Decker's drive might be a bit more, but then closer to a draw.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll be very good to Liam Harrison here.
Aye.
But as I say, I'm basing it on there's no bobbing and weaving and moving about and lateral footwork. None of the two of them doing that will be there.
No.
So I'm a Decker 1-stroke draw. What are you?
I would say Decker would win. I love watching him fight. Obviously not anymore, but I love watching him fight. I love how his presence is amazing. You know,
He's amazing.
It takes nothing for no one. He's just ready to go in and put on a good show. But then again, so's Harrison. He comes in. He always wants to do his best to put on a good show.
Very
trade hits, and he's happy to take them as well.
My mate, he trained with Decker years and years ago. He trained with him in, I think it was the Magiro gym, because he trained under the Cord Hemmers. Cord Hemmers was his stepdad. That was his stepdad, Cord Hemmers. So they called it Hemmers Gym, called it Hemmers Gym. But he trained with them. And he says that they were hard as nails, man. They were hard as nails. But we're not saying the rest of them don't train as hard as nails. But I think... so anyway, I'm going to go Decker, 1-stroke draw. Jerry's going to go Decker 1, right? So we'll go that one for there. We want your views on that. Anybody knows a lot about Thai boxing, we want your views on that for there. So who will we bring up next?
Got to be the man for me, Rod Tang.
Rod Tang, right. So we'll punch up a wee bit of Rod Tang here. I'm going to be very, very strict on that one. Right. I'm going to say, I reckon Deckers would have hammered Rod Tang.
Yeah, I'm definitely going. I mean, I've seen Rod Tang take some hits to the chin, and he's still standing as if someone's just pinched him.
Yeah.
You know, and he's fast.
I mean, I do like him. Without a doubt, but
well, he just took one at the chin right there.
Yes, he is actually solid. But do you know what I think Decker's got out a lot of these guys is the elbows. So who would you say the new and the one championship is the most superior with elbows?
That's a tough one, there's a good few guys.
Because I only started watching one championship quite recently, but I've never seen anybody who has been really superior with elbows.
So
you would be the one to tell me on that. But Decker was a big one with the elbows, without a doubt.
Let's see Rod Tang's elbows.
Rod Tang's elbows. So we're looking at Rod Tang's elbows. And I just always thought Decker had far superior elbow strikes. And a great variety, spinning, circular, uppercut elbows, cross elbows, back elbows.
But I also think though, like with Rod Tang, in modern day Thai fighters, he's pretty well rounded.
But for Thai boxing you've seen for the past, I've seen millions of it, you've seen for the past as well, and we spoke about this in the gym. Do you think Thai boxing's evolved?
I do.
I think it's evolved.
Yeah.
Do you know, and it's weird, right? For all the years I've been doing it, I can't 100% explain myself on that. But it's definitely evolved. I think Thai boxing is better to look at now than years ago.
Yes.
I think it's definitely better to look at.
It's more fluid. I remember watching Thai boxing as a wee boy, and it was it was a lot of clinching, and they've one's kept it away from that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more standing and fighting, and there's a lot more movement. Whereas I remember watching Thai boxing as a wee boy, and it was always clinching. That bored me quite a bit.
That's what I'm going to ask you. Do you feel as though the clinch work is boring?
Not so much nowadays, because I feel like clinching is quite important in Thai boxing.
This is going to sound daft. I think clinching, it's very, very...
It's a technical game when you're clinching.
Clinch work is massively a big deal in Muay Thai by everybody, right? Me and Jerry will also do a video on that, right? Jerry demonstrating me getting it done. But we'll do a video on that. But I believe clinch work to me is like MMA when they go to the deck. I can't be bothered. So yeah. Clinch work bores me.
So that kind of ties into what I was going to say. Is like I watch a lot of MMA stuff, and I used to hate ground fighting. But now, because obviously I've watched it for years, and I understand the technical game in that. It is boring, but once you start understanding why they're doing certain things and how they get the position,
It's an art.
it makes it more interesting when you're watching an MMA or even clinching in Thai boxing, because you understand it's not just two guys hugging. You know, it's they're trying to get into position, they're trying to get locks in. If you're doing MMA, they're trying to get the clinch in, they're trying to get the knees in, trying to get the elbows in, and it makes a massive difference. For me, actually, now when I see clinching, I'm more excited about it than I used to be. I'm like, oh, they're clinching again, I can't be bothered. I want to see kicks, I want to see punches, I want to see elbows. But nowadays, it's like, if they're clinching, in my mind, I'm thinking, right, well, what are they doing? Why are they clinching? It's not just a case of they've got too close and they're hugging. You know, they're trying to fight their way into a position so as they can go back to fighting again, or try to land that punch, that kick, just to win the fight.
But this is where I think K1 coming off track a wee bit was good, because K1 allows you to do one knee strike, either one knee or a clinching knee, then back out. Because K1 feels as though that a lot of clinch works does spoil the fight.
Yeah, because it slows it down. It definitely slows it down.
It is an art. It's an absolute art. You know, some folks see it, they think it's just two guys grabbing each other, but how you come in and out of that, and it's called the strong position, stuff like that, blah, 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 for there. How you come in and out of that is difficult. It is really tough. But I prefer the K1 style, where the punch, kick, knee, elbow, but the knee is one strike back out. Grapple, knee strike, then back out. That's what I prefer. Than actually watching a full round. To me, watching a full round a clinch work would be like watching a full round of somebody on the deck.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I know, I agree with that.
I don't like it.
Because you get turned off watching that. You end up concentrating on the fight as much. But going back to the technical thing, for me it's important now, because I like to see, once you're in a clinch, how do you get out the clinch? What are they doing? And for me, training, like I then mimic what they do to try and get myself better.
Well, all the fights I've saw Ramon Decker, Jerry, have you saw a lot of clinch work with him? No,
he didn't do a lot.
There wasn't a lot of clinch work, unless I'm missing out on something. But he was, if somebody came on the inside of him, he was uppercuts, elbows, and everything. Whether he wasn't 100% taught that, or whether he was just 100% into doing it, he just wanted to destroy, and that was it. But I've seen him do a couple of crackers. We fought Coban. I think he caught a cracker with Coban, a few knees through there. But I wouldn't say he's a guy looking at Ramon Decker specialises in knee strikes. I wouldn't say that.
Sorry, you're talking about Rod Tang then?
No, I'm talking about Ramon Decker. But how would you know more about Rod Tang than me, so how would you say Rod Tang is regarding clinch work?
He doesn't do it that much either.
No.
He's very much try and get him away, get the distance, and start striking. Just a couple of fights we watched there already. He's always got that distance, but he doesn't shy away from it either. I've seen him in a few clinches, and he's very quick to get out. So he's by far modern day one of my favourite fighters right now.
Well, I'm going to say Ramon Decker. I'm going to go one step further. I reckon Ramon Decker would have knocked Rod Tang out.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a big fan of Rod Tang.
I reckon.
I mean, there's not much in Rod Tang's game that I'm like, I don't want to do that. I mean, if I could be him for a day, I would love to. You know, like I would love a shot just to even spar with him to see what it's like.
But remember, everybody, we're talking about pound for pound here, because we know there are different weight divisions, but we're talking about pound for pound. And the people that in combat sports know what that means. Means if they fought in any weight division regarding each other, who would have won, who would have lost, and who would have drawn. Many say that at the start. So we're talking pound for pound here, because you might have somebody coming in the comments saying, we're different weight divisions, and it's pound for pound we're talking about here. So I reckon, to sum that one up, I reckon Ramon Decker would have really punished Rod Tang.
Well, why don't we do that over the 3 fights again?
Over the 3 fights, I'm going to say Ramon Decker.
Everyone?
Aye.
Oh no. I would say out of the 3, one of them would definitely be a draw.
Alright, I'll give you that.
One will definitely.
Right, okay, I'll give you a draw. I'll give you a draw. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I've never watched a Rod Tang fight where I've seen him even once back down.
Right.
Even when he was on the losing side, he
Right.
kept going. So I would say at least one of the fights is a draw.
Right.
And very likely it'd be a 1-1 draw.
Right.
Is how I would see it.
Well, that's our views on Rod Tang for there. So, who will we pick next? Haggerty.
Haggerty.
Right.
Okay.
Haggerty against Do you know something? I didn't even want to really mention Haggerty in this, but we'll go for Haggerty. Jonathan Haggerty. We'll go for him for there. Remember, we're looking for your views as well. Post at the bottom. Tell us what you think and why. Don't just post and say he would have been. You want to know why you thought that be there, right? That's what we're looking for. Haggerty. No, okay, right. So I'll be honest here. I reckon Haggerty would have danced and showed more style against that Ramon Decker.
Right.
Because I reckon Haggerty would have realised his power. And I see Haggerty. I see Haggerty's a faster fighter. I've always seen him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I've only started watching one championship, right? Watching these guys, but I reckon Haggerty would have pulled out more footwork with Decker.
Well, Haggart is known for his front kicks, his teeps.
Yep.
He's got a very, very strong teep.
Yep.
And I don't know you don't like calling it a teep, but that's
I hate the word teep.
But
So,
he's got a
front
very
kick.
strong left and right teep. I mean,
Yep.
he's known for that.
Yep.
And it's his signature. Every time he fights, that's
Yep.
the move that you're watching out for.
Decker always had a great front kick. Front kick and teep are the same things, by the way. It's how people say.
But I call it a teep.
Call it a teep. So Decker had a great front kick. Mainly, it wasn't a push straight back. His was mostly way under the chin.
Yeah, it was going up.
He would come up, hitting more with the heel. He was more up under the heel. That was Mary Decker's for there.
Haggerty's definitely a drive through.
Yep. Now, in a 5-round fight with Haggerty and Decker, I would probably give the first 2 rounds to Haggerty.
Right.
Probably, right?
Power on.
But then I think
Power on.
I think Decker, 3rd, 4th and 5th would have wore him down, would have caught, would have wore him down. Body shots.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm doing.
I mean, Haggerty's, I don't know how many times world champion is now, but I mean, he's got experience in the championship rounds. So, 1, 2, first 2 rounds, I would say are right, but with Haggerty's experience getting into the 4th and 5th rounds, again, style's very Thai style, so he's quite a solid guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right with Decker. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think he'd wait before we hang it and go and slow.
I think he would do the business. I
But
think he would.
he'll give you a good show.
I think he would draw Haggerty in. I think he would let Haggerty do everything he wants to do. You know, blah blah blah. I think Haggerty. We were watching him there, but I think Haggerty would up that, move about. I don't know what he's like against Decker type fighters. I would need to watch that. I should have probably done my research on it, didn't he?
That team there just
You know.
right back.
But I reckon I would probably say 3rd, 4th and 5th. I reckon Decker would have just turned up the heat and caught him. So out of 3 fights, I'm Decker for 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
I'm Decker for 3.
But the only way he
we
would
agree
lose that
on one
fight
thing.
is if Haggerty gets a good lucky shot in. Because he's got. I'm going to give the tip to Haggerty.
Right. I don't think it was strong enough. I
No.
mean, scoring, and it's all about scoring.
Yeah.
We know that. But no, I don't think that would have made a big difference. I don't know. Maybe need to watch Mary on it, but I'm going to say 3 out of 3. I'm going to give that one to Decker. Definitely for you.
I can agree with that.
3 out of 3. So, here's a fighter. It's one that you got me watching. And I couldn't take to him straight away. It was Nico, correct? Is it Carella?
Carella, Nico Carella, good fighter, very good fighter.
Great fighter, Scottish guy, right? But for some reason, I never took to him. That's how I had. See, when I watch a fight, I watch the past 2 fights.
Yeah.
To see if whether it be boxing or Thai boxing. I'm not always right, you know. Sometimes wrong, obviously. But when Nico fought that Nabil, I was so convinced, and I said that before it, that I didn't know Well, this is the fight here. We'll put it on the screen for you in a wee minute there. But the thing is I didn't realise it was going to go that way. I didn't think it was going to go that way.
No.
I thought that Nabil was going to outreach him, low kick, punch, down to the bottom. I thought they went 5 rounds. Was it a 5 round or a 3 round?
I think it was a 3.
Was it a
No,
three?
it's a 5 round fight.
It's a 5 round fight. So, but the thing is, you're watching this fight the new year, right? And as I say, you'll see it on screen here, everybody. And I think against a guy that tall, you should shut it down more, and there should be more Bob me. But that's how you get put in the first one. Go right on to the fight.
Yeah. Because he's
right
a very rigid fighter as well. Well, not in general, but in this fight he was very rigid. Carrillo just kind of stood there. He was trying to go punch for punch.
Yep.
Which good on him for taking that tactic. But
Yep.
for me anyway, I don't like, as you know, I don't like fighting tall guys. But to fight someone at that height, I would be trying to go for legs, chop legs down.
Yep.
Stay
Definitely.
low, stay small, and make him reach for me rather than the other way.
So no judging it on the Nabil fight. How would you put Decker with him? You've seen Miriam. I'm going to guess on it, but you've seen Miriam.
I like watching Nico fight. I think he's a great fighter. I don't think he's got what it takes to go with Decker. Decker for me, as you know, is he's an all rounder, good strategist, and just a scary guy to go in the ring with. Nico, he's got what it takes, but not against someone like Decker. So I would say out of 3, all 3 goes to Decker.
All 3 go to Decker. But let's jump off that. How do you think Decker would have fared against Nabil?
I see again. I mean, Decker was a small guy. Oh, there was that right hand there.
Nice right one.
Right, straight down.
Nice right one.
That was the first one.
How do you think he'd have fared against Nabil?
See, I don't know much about Nabil. I've only just that was the first fight I watched him in, and I mean, for being a tall guy, he can bang. Like he's got some stuff up his sleeve that you wouldn't think he could pull off.
Yeah.
But then, as soon as he knew he had the upper hand in that fight there, in particular with Nico, he didn't let up. He just kept going, and Nico just didn't know what was happening. And then he got that right to the right kick to the temple, and that was him.
But this is what gets me, and I teach it all the time, bobbing and weaving and moving, this, that, bob. And most of these guys, they don't do it. They don't do it. He got up with a belly or right hand, put them back up, and he's still as rigid.
Yeah. Well,
it's always rigid.
When I started training, I didn't move either.
Yeah.
You got me bobbing and weaving a lot.
So we're on the same book where Decker would have won the all 3 fights.
I think so.
Pound for pound, who do you think's the strongest between Nico and Decker?
I would say Decker.
Decker.
Definitely.
Yep, I'm with Decker. Pound for pound for there. So we've got Decker. Out of the 3 fights, we've got Decker winning the 3 fights for there. So let's jump on to Super Leg.
Oh, right, okay.
That's your man, isn't it?
Well, second. I mean,
Right.
definitely, I would say Rod Tang's going to be me all the way. There's not going to be much argument there for me. Super Leg just got some massively powerful kicks.
Right.
Low kick, mid kicks, even the high kicks. It's just complete power. It's like a truck coming towards you.
I'm going to sort of agree with you there. I reckon Super Leg fighting Decker. I reckon Decker would have resorted to obviously the low kicks, but more punch power to disrupt him.
Yeah, because he can close the distance quite quick.
Very, very quick. Elbows, punch power, and his leverage is amazing. His leverage is amazing. I don't know if he was actually ever taught boxing or Core Hammers was strictly his boxing coach. I don't know, but I would say that Decker would he would be shutting him down as best as he could. I believe for that. I'm going to agree with you with Super Light with the kicks. I still believe Decker's a great kicker as well for there, but I'm going to edge towards he would have to go upstairs and start, because his body shots were great, body, head, body, brilliant, which you don't 100% see. Now, I only started watching one championship. Maybe people who's been watching it for years will say different on the comments, but I still don't see a lot of great boxing. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I kind of a wee bit indifferent, because I watch a lot more one than you do, and you do get a wide range of boxing in it. But I would say between the past to modern day, yeah, the boxing's probably a lot less. But I have seen some fights where it's just pure boxing.
Yep.
You know, like boxing elbows, the occasional kick.
But years ago, the rules in Thailand, they never really scored boxing.
No,
They never really scored boxing. They actually scored more with the knees.
Right.
Scored more with the knees years ago. But it's
But you still
changed.
don't see a lot of knee strikes now.
Aye.
It's low kicks are obviously the favourite.
Yep.
choice
And you know, I'm not going to mention the organisation. It was an organisation down South Africa. I'm not going to mention them. And they tried to change the rule in the UK where the mid kick was scored more than the low kick. The low kick is the main kick in Muay Thai. The shin right after leg is the daddy.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to change that. I'm not saying who it was.
So the mid kick.
They wanted to, so if you a mid kick, so if they wanted folk to kick higher, more than low kick, and that's what they wanted. They wanted to change it.
That made the fight less interesting.
Aye, no.
You know,
Muay Thai always is damage your legs for there, blah blah blah. So, super leg. Who have you got for super leg in Decker in 3 fights?
I would go. I would give the first one to Super Leg.
Right.
I feel like he's got some strong kicks in there to really kind of even out, I suppose, the experience over Decker. Second fight, I would say once they've went head to head the first time, Decker's is going to be a bit more wary of everything.
Right.
And pull the win off that one. And then on the third one, I would get to Decker again.
Well, I'm Decker 1 and 2, drawn a third. 1 and 2, drawn a third. I don't think they're going to be easy, but I just think Decker would have a wee bit more armour. I'll say 2 and 1. So
I suppose it doesn't matter how we talk about it. But I'm obviously going to be biased because I've been watching the modern day fighters a lot more than you have, and I see how they fight, I see how they move.
Yep.
And not, don't get me wrong, I've seen plenty of Decker fights as well, but I think we've touched on it before. You know, modern day training's better, eating's better. You know, coaches and trainers, they've got more up their sleeve to think, right, we need to put more into you to do this, and we need to watch it for this happening. So, and there's more training methods to kind of combat, you know, different strikes. So I will be biased. As much as I love watching Decker fight, I think putting them up against the modern guys, he would struggle more now than he would have when he was on the scene.
I'll mention this, but I think we should probably maybe leave it for another video, so I'll let you answer that. Can you train somebody to be tough? I think we'll do it for another video.
No.
We'll do that for another video. We'll do it in another video. You can put your posts on that video. That comes off track a wee bit. So super leg, I'm going for 2 and 1, 2 wins and a draw. You're going for?
Same. So it'll be first one to Super Leg and then next 2 for Decker.
Next 2 for Decker, for there. Same again, tough guys. So who else did we pick?
Well, we're going to talk about Nabil as well.
Nabil.
We did sort.
We did. To be honest with you, I think.
I mean, I would straight up say.
I've actually saw Decker fighting a few taller guys. He does struggle, by the way. He does struggle, and there's a fight, and we'll put it up on the screen, where the 2 of them came in with the same left hooks. The 2 of them get knocked out, but the guy got up, and Decker hit the deck. And when you see in the video there, Decker went blind. He couldn't see for a couple of minutes after there. But Decker sort of struggled with taller guys a wee bit.
I think a lot of small guys would struggle. But I'm one in particular. I hate fight tall guys.
If you're watching this, the new used to spar with a guy called John McAleenan. If you're watching it, John, you were murdered to spar with, by the way. John's about 6'3", 6'4", and John was very, very difficult. See, when the shins come in, you knew you were in bother.
Right.
So, Nabil, we'll scrap him by the side of the review for there. So, what about Superbon?
Superbon, again, a guy that I don't watch a lot of. But
Same. I've not watched a lot. I'll judge it on what I've seen.
But
What would you
again,
say?
quite a solid fighter.
One fight, no 3 fights, just one fight. What would you say? Super Bond.
I can't even comment. I just haven't watched enough of his stuff.
I've not watched a lot yet, but I'm going to jump on Decker. Everybody's going to go like that. It seems to be Decker or the wifey here.
But Decker is a legend. Like,
he is a legend, without a doubt.
You can't take that away from the man. He's one of those guys.
He fought them all.
You just wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley.
He absolutely fought them all. He fought them all. So we'll do a short one on that. I'm going to say Decker and Superborn. I'm going to get to Decker and points. Points win.
All right.
I won't go knockout. I'll go points win for there.
I'll try and get this fight going so I can.
Who else will we pick? So we've got Harrison, Haggerty. So I'm just trying to think.
Got a bit older and maybe even bring in Sunshine.
Sunshine Burkai.
And
Bakal or Burkai, I don't know how you say that name. Sunshine, I've never liked him.
I'm not a massive fan of Sunshine.
Right.
I think he's strategy-wise, he's very good.
Aye.
And, he thinks out his moves, and while he's in the ring, you can see that brain working.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when you say Sunshine, I just think of his signature kick.
The signature kick.
That's all I've really got for Sunshine.
Definitely, but I've not seen a lot of him. The reason I've not seen a lot of him is because he didn't really fascinate me at all.
No.
For there, but let's cap him now. Let's jump on to Bakal or Burkai.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been watching him for a while. I mean, since all his fights. I mean, he was unbeaten for quite a long time, and such a solid fighter. Everything he done, he reminds me when I watched him, or when I watched Road Time, reminded me of Burkai. Just the way he goes into a fight, the way he closes the distance, and it just doesn't care about the hits. He just keeps going and going and going, and then its low kicks are solid.
Yep.
Wouldn't want to take one of them at all.
Well, I'm going to answer that one, and it might be a weird answer for you. Do you know I can't really answer who would win that? I think it'd be a hard one to decide who'd win that one. The two are that good.
What I would say is I would say the first two is quite possibly a draw.
Right.
If you're going pound for pound, it would quite possibly, the first two fights would be a draw, because Burkett, I mean, he'd been training since he was like 3, and as we all know, like for the Thais, it's a whole way of life. It's religion. It's
religion to them, sport to us.
Aye, and he fought tooth and nail to put food on the table for his family. So he would have went into the fight going, right, this is the same as it's always been.
Yep. But Coban was the same.
Yeah.
Coban was I'm not going to say as far as a god. I don't mean a god, but Coban was major well thought. He was like bull. I think somebody can correct me on this here. I think they called him Bullhead. Because here's the story with this one when Decker fought Bullhead. Was when he left the hotel, they travelled about 2-3 hours on a minibus with no air conditioning in Thailand.
Maybe
they went to the ring stadium. The guy said it's the ring. They knew they were them. And then it was another 2 and 3 hours and this and that and blah blah blah. Apparently the dressing room was called or something. And we're going to put this fight on for you, by the way, so I'll put it on the screen. What do you call it? Decker destroyed him, man. Destroyed him. Absolutely. The first, I'm sure it was the first round or the second round.
Was that the first fight though? Because they fought 3
times. They fought 3 times. The biggest one I remember was the black shorts with a white bullhead print on it. So I'm not done my homework here, I don't know. We're just doing this after back, everybody, by the way.
Trying to get these fights.
We've not really planned this. We just decided to do this. So Coban or Bullhead was definitely an absolute. I'm going to put the one up I'm talking about on the screen anyway. But anyway, Decker was messed about, but he absolutely, he done him. He absolutely destroyed him.
He first fought in 91.
Right, so was it that one for there? No, it wasn't that
white shorts.
White shorts, black shorts. Definitely But as I say, I've not done my homework. Bullhead and Coban was the same guy,
Might be
actually.
the second one.
You know,
Mind you, the screens and all that. The pictures
might
and
be
all
for
that.
there. But so I would say Ramon Decker and Bakal or Buakai. I can't 100% answer that one.
I would be fair and say win, loss, and a draw. Didn't matter who wins the first one and the second one, but I would say first fight between them, one on.
Well, I'm going to say 2-1 for Buakai.
Uh,
There's my first one coming away for Decker.
right.
He was
But
that good, man.
He
He
was a good.
He was
Just,
that good.
I mean, still a great fighter.
Still a great fighter, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's the fight they were watching there. I'll put it on the screen for you, everybody. And that's the one he absolutely annihilated them, man. He annihilated.
I think it was.
So we've watched it on that, but you'll see it on the screen for you there. And this guy, they caused a lot of problems for Decker, and Decker made this guy punished. You see that? Look at that circular elbow there.
Go right down the middle.
Look at that. Destroyed him, man. Destroyed him. So we're looking there, but you'll see it on the screen for you, everybody. First round KO.
Right.
First round KO. Absolutely made him pay. Now, he was classed as the real deal, by the way. He was the real deal. So that was Coben 2 then.
I go on to it and then.
But for some reason they called him Bullhead. They called him Bullhead for there. So we'll pick one more final fighter. Who will we pick?
I was watching. What was I watching now? Tawanchai. He again fights for one.
Was that him that fought on the last one there? He fought.
Yes.
Who? It was the second fight. Who was the second fight against again?
Can't remember.
Oh, it was the second fight. It was a kickboxing fight.
Yeah. So the one that we're watching is him against Superbun.
He beat Superbond, didn't he?
He did.
Aye. So Tawanchai is good.
He's a
Tawanchai is
big
good.
Paul fighter.
Tawanchai is good. But who's the guy for Japan? Is it? Who's him?
Hikaru, the one that's fighting Rod Tang in 2 weeks.
I think you're going to include him as well. He's handy enough. He's handy as well.
Kickboxing fight. I think it's a Thai fight.
But see, Decker fought kickboxing, no?
Mm.
He fought kickboxing. But kickboxing, just to let you know, everybody, kickboxing in the one championship is different for kickboxing as I know it, or most folk know it. Kickboxing as I know it is shin guards, instep padding, kicks above the waist, no leg kicks. But when you watch kickboxing on the one championship, the only different thing I see for Thai boxing is the tennis gloves. They don't use the wee gloves.
They don't use a 4 ounce one.
They don't use the 4
They
ounce.
still use.
So they use like 10 or 12 for there.
Yeah.
But kickboxing, it's night and day different. It's absolutely night and day different. But I would probably say, Tawanchai would be a good bout. Would definitely a good bout.
Again, just with his height as well, he'll struggle.
A good bout. Definitely.
Again, Tawanchai's got some great kicks. He's another one that's known for his teeps and his low kicks.
Yeah.
So it would be a great fight to watch. Decker would definitely struggle, especially in their first head-to-head. He would struggle. But then, you bring in tactics and strategy for the next fight.
Yeah.
Decker would definitely do his homework on it more.
Yeah.
More so, and take the win for the second.
Yeah.
And then the third, I would say.
You've seen it more than me.
I would say, I mean, I don't want to say a draw because I keep kind of keeping it even, but by the time you're fighting someone for the third time, you're going to know each other's kind of moves.
You do.
And it would be a hard one to call who would win. So just to kind of, as a get out clause, I would just call it a draw for that.
Right.
But Tawanchai, out of all the fighters we talked about, for height, for his experience and his skill, definitely one of the ones that another one would give Decker a good run for his money. And I would even say in the third fight would go all 5 rounds for that reason.
Well, everybody, we're going to stop there. But we want you to write in the bottom because we've agreed we're going to do a lot more of these. We're going to do a lot more of these, even the build up to the one championships, which is too clever.
It's definitely done a lot.
It's too clever for the sport. And then we'll pick just one and the build up to one who we think is going to win and stuff like that for there.
Oh, well, the next one's going to be the Rod Tang Takaru fight.
Rod Tang Takaru.
2 weeks today, actually.
Right. Well, let's have a 2 minute talk on that one.
Right.
Who do you go? I know Rod Tang's a man. I know Rod Tang's a
You
man.
can't ask me
I
that
know.
question.
Rod Tang and Takaru. So how do you think it'll go then? You've shown your own camera, so we'll not be, the video.
I do think Rod Tang's going to go in swinging hard and fast from round one. I think he's going to want to shut this down quick because there's been a lot of talk about it between the two of them. Two great fighters, but for me, being a fan of Rod Tang and just understanding how he moves and fights,
Right.
For me, it's straight in and let's just shut this down straight away.
Well, I'm going to watch a lot Mairy, Takaru, and Rod Tang, and I think we'll be. So what date's that fight?
2 weeks today. It's the 20.
2 weeks today.
Or something like that.
So what we'll do is we'll do a wee video before it then.
No, because it'll be in the afternoon.
No, I'm saying we'll do a video before the fight. Before the fight.
Yeah.
So we'll do a wee video on that before the fight, and I'll have Mary and input on that. I'll watch Mary and for their wee input.
You watch more Takaru fights.
And I watched my attacker for there, which I do like. We'll watch Mary that, and we'll do a wee quickie on that before the fight.
Yeah.
And we'll see what's
what. Proper decision on what I think.
A decision on for
To
there.
be fair, I would be Rod Tang all the way, no matter what. So I'm too much of a fan to go against him.
Right. What is your views on that one? Who do you think is going to win between Rod Tang and Takaru? What do you think about what we were talking about earlier on? If you're old school, you'll know Ramon Decker. You'll know a lot about him. You know, Thailand.
We also need to touch on the different styles. I mean, Decker being the Dutch style, which
right, but
training as well.
But there's a story behind that, so we'll jump on that. See, Ramon Decker is a Dutch fighter. The Dutch style is faster than the Thai style, right? It's the Dutch style that I always teach, blah, blah, blah. But the wee story on that is I'm going to put the link up there in the wee video where I'm at, up here. When he came back, he fought Gilbert Ballantyne. I think he fought him 2 or 3 times. But the first time he fought him, Ballantyne fought as a Dutch fighter. But because Ramon Decker was fighting in Thailand all the time, he adapted and became the Thai style. And he had to change the style back to that for there. So there's a wee bit on that. There's a wee interview on that. I'll probably see if I can find that for you. I'll put that wee interview up. So he'd been fighting in Thailand that long that he just became the Thai style for there. So he just blended into that.
So you could say Decker did that hybrid style.
He did have a hybrid style without a doubt. But I think it's me if you're constantly, I mean, Cord Hemmers is. You're right, because Cord Hemmers would he be going, well, Cord Hemmers, if you're watching, you never know. He would always be teaching the Dutch style. But then do you think Cord Hemmers would change the style because of the Thai? We need to bring down, we need to do that, we need to do that. It's our tactics, mate. We'll do that for another video. There's going to be a lot many of these videos coming up. But listen, there's a lot of people out there who love the One Championship. And if you want me and Jerry to talk about these, then we'll put these together and we can base it on 1 fighter or 2 fighters, whatever. And even the female fighters, Stamp Fairtex. We'll jump on that as well. Absolutely brilliant. And we'll bring that up the next one as well for there. But biggie coming up is Rod Tang v Takaru. We'll get that one in probably next for there because the fight's only in a couple of weeks. And then we're going to have a wee verdict. I'm going to watch a few fights, so we'll have a Red Bull bet.
That's right.
Red Bull bet. So we're going to have a Red Bull bet on that one. Who we think's going to win. I need to watch a wee bit more of them. Rod Tang, I've seen quite a few. I've not seen a lot of Takaru for there. We'll watch that, and I think it's going to be a knockout, a draw, or whatever for there, just based on the 1 fight. But Jerry, I want to thank you for being on the day.
Yeah, thanks.
There's been a lot many of these, but we've been talking about this for a while, by the way. So it's not necessarily my show. It's mine and Jerry's show.
Next time as well.
What's that?
We'll do the homework next time.
We'll do the homework. So we just jumped on this. We just decided this is something that we want to do because this is all we talk about. So we'll do our homework on what's the first, second, or third fight, or what colour of shorts they were wearing for there. But so listen, we're going to do a lot of many, but we also want your feedback, and we want you to post below and say who do you think? We might have missed something. So what do you think? And remember, it's pound for pound, right? It's pound for pound. Do you want them today? No. I'll talk about that off screen. We'll talk about that off screen. I was going to say something. We'll talk about off screen because I know a lot of people would jump on it. So everybody, I want to thank everybody for watching for me and Jerry. And next one up will be Rod Tang v Takaru, which is in a couple of weeks. And we're going to get a wee video on that. I've got a wee bit of homework on that. We're going to see who's going to win between that one. But we're looking for your comments to give us some views to say who you think's going to win and why. Thank you very much, Jerry Boy.
Cheers, Stevie.
Thank you.